We're still talking about division in this video. Obviously we're up to multiple digits. Divisors are pretty big, so we're increasing the complexity of these problems a little bit, so it's going to take a little bit longer, a little more to solve, a little bit more thought on your part, a little more effort. The procedure though is exactly the same. That's the beauty of having a standard methodology, is nothing changes. And that's how we're able to manage such big numbers with relative ease. Honestly, I know you may be saying, but it's going to take me forever. But it won't take you forever, but it'll take you a little bit longer than a really simple division problem. I get that, but it's not hard. It just takes you a little bit longer to think through and solve the problem. Still, we're grouping 913 items into 29 different groups, and our answer is going to tell us how many items will be in each group. I've been using dollars a lot. $913 split 29 ways. If there are 29 of us sharing that, how much would each of us get? That's one of the questions we might be answering. Or maybe we have 913 students. We're going to divide into 29 buses for some reason. How many kids would be in each bus or in each car if you're going on a field trip and you're taking cars? That'd be maybe a more likely scenario. But here we go. First question, 29 goes into 91 how many times? I don't know. So I'm going to start to guess. So here's where estimation comes in handy. I do know 29 is close to 30, and 30 times 3 is 90. So I'm going to start with 3 and see how close I get. And I may be wrong, but you got to start somewhere. So try to figure out a good guess for this initially. It's going to be a single digit number because I'm dividing 29 into 91, so I'm not going to increase the digits. So it's going to be fairly small. Let's see how well I guess. 3 times 9 is 27. Carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. 87 is very close to 91. It doesn't go over, so I definitely can't go 4. And I'm pretty sure that's as close as I'm going to get. So let's do it. 29 times 3, we already figured out, is 87. Since this is in the tens place, it's 30, so 870. So I'm going to subtract 3. That doesn't work. 7 from 11 is 4. So I've taken care of 87 of those items. I got 43 to go. So the next one shouldn't be too bad. Erase my chicken scratch there. How many times will 29 go into 43? Well, kind of what's your guess? We rounded 29 to 30 before. 30 will go into 43 only one time, so I'm going to guess once. In fact, 29 times 1 I know is 29, and it definitely doesn't go over. 29 times 2, just to show you. 2 times 2 is 4, 5. It goes over, so 29 times 2 doesn't work, so it's definitely 1. 29 times 1 is 29. Now let's do the subtraction. Got to borrow to get it done. 13 minus 9 is 4. 3 minus 2 is 1. So we guessed, or we did a good job, because 14 is less than 29. It won't go any higher than that. And we got as close as we could without going over. So the answer is 31 with a remainder of 14. So each person in our crew would get $31, or there'd be 31 kids per bus if we were divvying students up into buses, with a remainder of 14. So in that case, we'd need one more bus. But anyway, that's how the division works. I'll do one more example. If you don't need it, then get to practicing. By all means. The next one's 81 into 656. So I'm dividing 656 items 81 ways, or into 81 groups. So let's start with the procedure. How many times will 81 go into 65? Okay, this is a new thing we're encountering here, because it won't go into 65, and I'm glad we did an example like this so you wouldn't assume this one always goes into the first one. It doesn't. In fact, there'll come a day when you're converting fractions into decimals where nothing goes in the beginning and you have to add decimals. So a little foreshadowing for the future. Will 81 go into 65? No. Will 81 go into 656? Of course it will, but it's a pretty big number, so we're going to have to start doing some guessing. And you can round this one 80 into 600. I know 8 times 8 is 64. So, I mean, that's another way to do it. If you look at this digit and these two, in this case, 8 times 8 is 64. So that's a decent guess. Let's try 8. 81 times 8, and 8 times 8 is 64, so that's 648. Actually, that ends up being a really nice guess, because it doesn't go over, and it's close enough. I could try 81 times 9, but I'm pretty sure this is 648 is close to 656, so I'm pretty sure that's a good guess for us. But But I've got all three digits, so that's going to be in the ones column. I'm only going to multiply it by 1, not a 10, because I don't need 6,560. I only need 656. So we already did this. We know it's 648. So we can just line it up and subtract. We've taken care of 648 of those items. Borrow to get this done. 16 minus 8 is 8. Everything else zeroes out. So I have a remainder of 8. So it's 8 with a remainder of 8. So when dividing 656 into 81 different groups, there'll be 8 things in each group with 8 left over to deal with. It depends on the situation. The remainder, the reason we write remainder this way when you're first learning to divide is because depending on the context, there's a number of things that can happen with that, as you'll eventually see. But for now, just start practicing this procedure. Get good at it.